Hey, it's Gigi with this week's Real Estate Rapid Fire Q&A session. And if you're in the market to buy or sell, stick around and you might actually learn something. When an agent says they'll market my home, what are they really doing? Great question. Most agents stick a sign in your yard and list your home on the MLS. That's it, which is probably why you are led to ask this question. A good agent will actually allocate a large percentage of their professional fee to legitimately market your home. Now, what is marketing? Let's use a circus as an example. If a circus is coming to town and you put up a sign, that's advertising. If you put up a sign on the back of an elephant and you walk it through town, that's promotion. And if the elephant walks through the flower bed of a neighbor and the local news reports on it, that's publicity. And if you get that neighbor to laugh about it, that's public relations. And if you tell people all the various entertainment booths that will be at the circus, all the shows that you'll have, and how much fun they'll have, that's sales. And all that planning put together, that's marketing. I'm shopping around for lenders to get pre-approved. What advice do you have on what type of lender to choose? I prefer small private lenders versus the big corporate lenders because they give you more touch points and they're just more personal. Bigger entities don't cater on a personal level, which is really, really needed, especially for first-time home buyers. I've had big banks just deny loans in the middle of a transaction with little to no explanation or reason. And more importantly, they don't provide solutions. All of my preferred lenders, they're all smaller firms. They'll call me at any hour. They'll text me. They'll update me constantly. And they'll lay out a game plan for all of my buyers. And they essentially fight. They fight for the client and they educate them more. And they'll do everything that it takes to get that buyer to the closing table from a financial standpoint. Do I have to get a home inspection? Immediately, yes. If you're working with me, you have to get a home inspection. Your Zillow realtor might allow that, but I'm not. Home inspections, they're really important to the process, and it can even help you negotiate a lower purchase price or cash credits that you can use towards actually lowering your closing costs. So it's aside from that, it's also really important that you understand what you're buying, and a home inspection will do just that. Any tips for buying a home in 2024? Don't let one imperfection or obstacle in the process deter or unmotivate you from getting to the finish line. For some buyers, yes, it is smooth sailing to the closing table, but for most, the process is a lot different. There are a lot of times when you're probably going to have to put multiple offers on different homes before you actually get accepted. Other times you might fall in love with a house and then you get this surprise during your inspection that becomes a problem with the insurance company. And there are a lot of other issues that might arise. The home buying process is never perfect, but trust that you'll end up where you need to be. So don't let these little small bumps stop you from owning a home. How important is debt to consider when buying a home? So we always focus on the income, but I think that your debt holds a lot more weight in this decision. And you can make $10K a month, but if you have $9,999 in debt, you only made $1, and there's no home in this market or in any market you can buy on an income of $1. What exactly is an HOA? An HOA, or Homeowners Association, is a group of people that govern the community. If you live in one of those new construction communities or even an older community that just happens to be gated, you have an HOA. And that HOA is essentially in charge of setting forth the rules of the community, making sure that the fees are collected, and pretty much keeping things in order. So those people that tell you you can't have a water slide built on your roof that slides down into your pool, that's the HOA. So make sure that if you plan on buying in one of these communities, that you consider two things. Number one, how much you're going to be paying monthly or quarterly, and what you're paying for. Like, are they covering your landscaping in the front? Are they maintaining the community's public pool? Just remember that to follow the HOA rules, because HOA don't play. What credit score do I need to buy a home? So people think that you need a credit score of 700 or 800 to buy a home, and that's simply not true. You can qualify for a home loan with a credit score of as little as 580. Now, I don't recommend that at all because the lower your credit, the higher the interest rate and the higher your monthly payment is going to be. So ideally, you'll want your credit score to be around 620, 640 range, and that's going to give you the most favorable loan terms. How much money do I need to actually purchase a home? So there are four main things that you need to budget for. So the first thing is going to be your down payment, which can be anywhere between 3 and 5% of your loan. The next thing is closing costs, which can be, let's estimate, anywhere between 3 and 4%. And the third thing is your home inspection, which is an absolute must, and that can be anywhere between $350 and $650. $350 and $650. And the very last thing you're going to want to budget for is the cost of the appraisal, which is a requirement of the bank, and it's necessary for your loan approval to actually close. And that can be anywhere between $500 and $700, depending on the location and the price of the home that you're buying. I'm noticing a lot more price reductions in the market. Does this mean home prices are dropping? Not necessarily. A price reduction usually means that the seller overpriced their home to begin with. And the reduced price is the price the home should have been listed at from the start. And the reason you're seeing this happen now is because of two things. Number one, sellers think it's still 2021. They think about their neighbor that sold for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50K over, and that's ingrained in their mind. It's not 2021 anymore. And if they think that a buyer in this market is going to overpay for their property like they did in the past, it's not going to happen again or for a long time. Number two, most homeowners, they suffer from what is called the endowment effect. It happens to me too. And this has been studied for decades, and it has been found to be true. It's the idea that because we own it, it's worth more. And that's simply not the case. Just because you spent 50K on the bronze horse statue that's sitting in your front yard, we have a lot of that in Miami, does not mean your home is worth 50K more. What is the most important thing I need to think about when buying my very first home? I always tell everyone that your very first home should allow you to never go back into your pocket on your next purchase. So if you only see yourself living in your first home for only, let's say, 5 years, or you plan on eventually investing in property down the line, then choose a first home that is in an up and coming area, or choose the smaller home in the neighborhood because the bigger homes that sell for more increase your home's value faster. Or pick a home that you can potentially add value to, like maybe a home that you can add square footage to. That wraps things up. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them next week. By the way, I'm currently giving out free home value reports, so be sure to check the link in the description, and I'll send your report ASAP.